So I was just mentioning to someone in comments or talking to somebody about logic education, because I was saying we just need more education to fix things, all the confusions people have. And somebody called me like, education in what? And so, well, it's in everything, the general spirit of education, of course, but I'm not going to use that as a cop-out. I mean, I could tell you where to start spending the first money if you want me to tell you. You should, but anyway. Okay, I feel like Von Helton now. Why doesn't the Department of Education call me? Could they be jealous? Okay, no, but seriously, logic education can start really young. And that's the main thing. I mean, it's just, look, we have a political system that lives off of logical fallacies. You don't think we could educate people so they're not so susceptible to logical fallacies that in philosophy we've known were fallacies for thousands of years? Could we please, speaking for all of philosophy, could we please, mainstream society, cover a little logic? Okay, we've been very patient. I think it's the bigotry of philosophers that hasn't really insisted on philosophical education. Like, well, it's above people. But syllogisms are how you start teaching Western logic. And that's just, if dogs are friendly and Lilikoi is a dog, then Lilikoi is friendly, and talking about when that'll be true or not. And kids can draw diagrams of it, and you don't have to get into the technical stuff. And 5-year-old kids can understand that. I think you teach it before math, and they'll be better at math, too. Studying logic gives you more ways to understand math. And I think, one way it seems like a commentary on our society. We don't take logic more seriously. Seriously, 1,000-year-old, very accessible knowledge about logic that we don't mention to people. On the other hand, I think it's partly because humans are logical. We take it for granted because we're naturally logical. Some kids, if they take college logic, they're not confused at all. It's like, oh yeah, I already knew these things. I just didn't know what to call them. And there's a few things that'll be weird from your personal logic, and maybe you'll learn some better logic, or maybe you'll help improve our understanding of logic. But some of the kids in there were just amazingly confused. It's just so simple. But I think if they had started younger, it wouldn't have to be their favorite subject. Like, I just love it. But and I think more qualitative science education too. Just a lot more, science education with a lot of qualitative education, so people that are never going to want to be in the mathematical side of it have sort of a natural philosophy approach. Science for natural philosophers kind of classes, science for poets, I used to call it in college. But the logic is the main thing. But then I was thinking, hey, well, education is what education does, man. And I was thinking, I should go through it, but geez, that's a lot of work. And I still have some textbooks, and I could just read through them and guide us through them, and maybe I'll do something like that. I have some friends that are into logic. Maybe we'll do a little logic study club and videotape it or something. And then I was thinking, well, what about you guys? Maybe we could do it where it seems like it'd be a lot of work to make videos like that. But maybe people that have some education in formal logic can get together with me and make a series of videos where, each of us only has to do one every couple months. Like a video every 2 weeks, rotating among as many people as you could get, 3, 4, 5 people, or maybe just an open list. And maybe you don't have to be formally trained in logic, but then again, I don't know. The point is, it's not that you have to agree with the formal Western logic is like the right way. You just have to know what it is as a baseline. You know what I mean? And so, I disagree with Western logic. I think it's got some flaws, rather. Actually, it's not disagree with it. It is what it is. I don't think it applies to everything. It has some problems that people have ignored, and these are flaws in the people's understanding of the logic and its nature. When you're going to apply it to the real world is what suffers. Logic itself is just something good to learn. And if you learn it as a dogma, then you'll misapply it. But if you learn it just as part of this tradition of what's it called, theoria, and contemplation of what used to be called pure knowledge. It's not pure knowledge, but what it is the tools we use to create knowledge. So, very important. All right, cheers.